And we're joined by Grant Fuhr. I wanted to ask you right off the bat, I think a lot of people have imagined what it would be like if they made a movie of their lives. And they've kind of done that, at least for your hockey career. How does it feel to see that part of your life just played out on the big screen?
It's interesting. I mean, that's the one thing I noticed. I wasn't sure if I'd like it or not at the beginning, but it's turned out good. And Adam did a fabulous job, so that makes it a lot better.
Tell me a little bit about the process of making it. How much time did you spend with a camera, and how did that feel?
That's probably the hardest part, being chased around by a camera. So you never really notice it, but once you become aware of it, it makes it hard. But at the same time, it was fun. I mean, it probably took us about a year and a half, almost 2 years to do. But you're reliving parts of your life. So that part of it was a lot of fun.
So, yeah, I was a huge Grant Fuhr fan, and I always felt like even though, I had so much respect for the Oilers, I found myself shouting at them that they needed to give you a little more support.
Just a little different style of hockey. I mean, I was lucky enough in junior, I played in Victoria, and we played that similar style, so Edmonton was a good fit for me. The style of hockey I loved, because it was never boring. You knew you were going to get lots of work, but you also knew you were going to win a lot of hockey games, so it was a great fit.
So I was looking back at the records that you hold, things like most assists, most consecutive wins, and most games played by a goalie in a single season. Of all those records, which one really is most valuable to you?
It's hard to say. I mean, the 5 Cups obviously are nice, but the individual records, the 79 games was a lot of fun, but I think my best year was probably the next year. After I'd blown the knee out, I had it rebuilt and played 75 games the next year, so that's probably the thing I was most proud of.
And that was all in the phase when it sort of looked like, okay, a few years earlier, it looks like Grant Fuhr's career is on that down. But then you had this sort of late career bounce back.
That's mind over matter. I mean, I think that was the biggest thing, is you have to decide that you want to be committed to it and pay the price to do it. And I wasn't done yet, so I still had a lot I wanted to prove, and you just put your mind to it.
It's interesting. Some people second guess when someone decides to retire. That some say you should retire at the peak of your career, but I see some players that don't mind carrying on past their peak because they enjoy the game.
Well, you always love the game. I mean, for me, it was an easy decision. The body was done. It's like an old car. It was out of miles. So
you really didn't have much choice at that point.
No, the knee was pretty much shot at that time, and we were within years of getting it replaced. So I probably could have played another year or two, but at the same time, one, it was going to be more painful, and it was going to wreck the knee worse, and two, I wasn't going to get any better. So it was a good time to get out.
Any good film has to have, that the challenging part, right? And I guess in your career, it was this.
I covered that.
It was the suspension thing?
That was probably the hardest part of my career. I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't a very good student in school, but I was a great student in life. In the school of life, you do it the hard way. So somehow I managed to do everything the hard way, but at the end of the day, it worked out well.
And is it one of those things where what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, or how do you feel about it looking back now?
You know what? It's life's lessons. It made me a better person. And I think sometimes you have to learn the lesson the hard way, and unfortunately I seem to do that very well. So you learn the lesson the hard way, but it's what makes you better in life later in life.
One other thing that occurs to me when I see footage of goalies playing, not that long ago in your heyday, I love the highlights. The goalie equipment was smaller. You really had to throw yourself around more. How do you feel about the fact that the goalies are more stationary and rely on big pads and whatnot?
That was heavy, so we had to wear it small. I mean, that's the biggest difference between the equipment then and the equipment now, is at that time it was heavy, so you wanted to wear it as small as you could so you could move.
Anyway, so much fun looking at that, and love what I see in the film, and thanks for taking this time to talk to us.
It's my pleasure.
Terrific, and thank you for watching Kelowna Now.